For decades, the blood and sand of Gaza has borne witness to an endless cycle of violence between Israelis and Palestinians. But a seismic shift is now underway, as the terms of their conflict expand from terrain to trade. Furious at the heavy loss of Palestinian life in May's clashes, China and Saudi Arabia are threatening to unleash the ultimate sanction, choking off Israel's economic jugular. As global superpowers square off against a regional stalwart in an unprecedented face-off, the Middle East braces for impacts sure to reverberate worldwide. Money, not missiles, will be the new munitions in this high-stakes showdown. But will commerce diplomacy succeed where armed diplomacy failed? One thing is clear: the rules of Middle Eastern engagement are being rewritten in boardrooms, not bomb sites. A deal may be struck or an economic war may begin. All that's certain is this: the landscape is shifting, and the landscape that follows may be unrecognizable. As the world witnessed the distressing scenes of destruction and suffering in Gaza, Israelis, too, confronted the harsh realities of the conflict. The global condemnation of these stark images was palpable. Enter China, a heavyweight on the world stage, holding a permanent seat on the United Nations Security Council. The rising violence in Gaza prompted Beijing to express deep concern. China's historical approach to Israeli-Palestinian conflict leaned towards diplomacy, advocating for a two-state solution and emphasizing the importance of peaceful negotiations to resolve the dispute. Yet, the recent turmoil in Gaza has shaken the foundations of China's stance. The motivation behind China's contemplation of sanctions on Israel stems from the perception of Israel's role in the conflict. Beijing, once a proponent of a more reserved diplomatic approach, has openly criticized Israel's actions. This marks a significant departure from its previous position, sparking curiosity about the factors triggering this shift and the potential repercussions of the global stage. In the tumultuous backdrop of Israel's military actions in Gaza, where the toll on civilians and infrastructure cannot be ignored, China has emerged as a vocal advocate for change. Their call for an immediate ceasefire is not just an expression of humanitarian concern, it's a strategic move to assert themselves as a global powerhouse, particularly in the Middle East. China's commitment to the Palestinian cause goes hand in hand with its broader ambitions. The Belt and Road Initiative, a colossal investment in Middle Eastern infrastructure, showcases China's intention to wield influence in the region. By aligning with the call for sanctions against Israel, Beijing not only positions itself as a defender of Palestinian rights, but also as a responsible international player. Simultaneously, Saudi Arabia, traditionally aligned with the United States, Israel's staunch ally, is contemplating a significant shift. Faced with mounting pressure from its citizens and regional allies, the kingdom is re-evaluating its stance on the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. This recalibration in Saudi Arabia's position is multifaceted. First, the kingdom seeks to maintain credibility as the guardian of Islamic holy sites, Mecca and Medina, by aligning with the sentiments of Muslims globally. Supporting the Palestinian cause resonates with a broader Muslim audience, enhancing Saudi Arabia's standing in the Islamic world. As public discontent with Israel's actions grows within the kingdom, manifested through protests and calls for action, Saudi Arabia navigates a delicate balance between historical alliances and the evolving dynamics of regional politics. As the narrative unfolds, a second key factor shaping Saudi Arabia's evolving stance is its strategic move to diversify alliances and reduce reliance on the United States. This shift in geopolitical positioning predates the Gaza conflict, driven by Saudi leaders recognizing the imperative to adapt to changing global dynamics. Before the recent turmoil, Saudi Arabia had been cultivating closer ties with nations like China and Russia, seeking alternatives to Western partnerships. This deliberate effort aligns with a broader geopolitical landscape where traditional alliances are being reassessed. China, steadily amplifying its influence in the Middle East through economic investments and diplomatic engagements, sees its involvement in the Israeli-Palestinian conflict as a pivotal step towards becoming a key player in Middle East affairs. This move challenges the traditional dominance of Western powers and adds the complexity to the regional dynamics. For Saudi Arabia, the shifting stance regarding Israel and the deepening ties with China form part of a comprehensive strategy to diversify alliances and reduce reliance on the United States. Motivated by a quest for greater independence and flexibility in regional politics, Saudi Arabia's recalibration of alliances reflects a broader ambition to navigate the complex geopolitical landscape on its terms. The proposed sanctions by China and Saudi Arabia, when viewed in the broader context, have the potential to strain US-Saudi relations. The historical role of the United States as a staunch supporter of Israel, providing military aid and diplomatic cover, now faces a challenging juncture as geopolitical dynamics in the Middle East continue to evolve. In this unfolding narrative, the potential sanctions from China and Saudi Arabia not only loom over US-Saudi relations, but also cast a shadow on America's role in the intricate tapestry of the Middle East. The region, already a cauldron of conflicts and rivalries, faces the prospect of added complexity with these global players wading into the Israeli-Palestinian discord, potentially reshaping alliances and sparking new tensions. As of now, the envisioned sanctions remain on the drawing board, leaving the implementation hanging in uncertainty. Yet, the mere contemplation of such measures has sparked a vigorous debate on their efficacy and the potential consequences they might unleash on the Israeli-Palestinian front. A pivotal question surrounding these proposed sanctions revolves around their capacity to influence Israel policy and behavior. History tells us that sanctions, while capable of exerting economic and diplomatic pressure, often fall short when tackling deeply ingrained conflicts like the Israeli-Palestinian issue. Israel, no stranger to international pressure and sanctions, has displayed unwavering commitment to its security concerns. In the grand theater of the Middle East, these unfolding events weave a complex narrative, a tale where geopolitical shifts, strategic alliances, and the pursuit of regional influence converge against the backdrop of a long-standing and deeply entrenched conflict. The world watches as this multifaceted drama continues to unfold, uncertain of the twists and turns that lie ahead. In the intricate dance of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, the United States takes center stage, acting as a crucial player with its substantial military and diplomatic backing for Israel. Any substantial shift in the conflict's dynamics would likely demand active involvement and cooperation from the US. Yet, given its historic alliance with Israel, the United States may hesitate to endorse sanctions against its long-standing ally. Supporters of sanctions, however, argue that such measures can serve as a powerful tool to garner global attention and condemnation for Israel's actions in Gaza. This, proponents believe, could amplify international pressure for a ceasefire and a negotiated settlement. However, the global response to the Gaza conflict has been a mixed bag, with some nations and organizations calling for an immediate ceasefire, while others tread more cautiously in their statements. The proposed sanctions also throw a spotlight on the broader issue of how the international community responds to conflicts in the Middle East and the role played by major powers. The Israeli-Palestinian conflict is just one chapter in a larger story of regional strife, marked by conflicts such as the Syrian civil war, the Yemeni civil war, and ongoing tensions in Iraq and Iran. The inconsistent approach of the international community in addressing these conflicts has faced criticism in recent times. The Middle East, a hotbed of turmoil, sees various conflicts with significant humanitarian cries and instability. China and Saudi Arabia's involvement in the Israeli-Palestinian conflict underscores their readiness to engage in regional affairs and assert influence. Both nations harbor diverse motivations and interests in the Middle East beyond the Israeli-Palestinian issue. China, reliant on the region for energy resources, seeks stability for its Belt and Road Initiative projects. Saudi Arabia, eyeing regional influence and security while diversifying alliances and reducing dependence on the United States, views the potential sanctions as a part of a broader strategic calculus. In this complex geopolitical landscape, the United States grapples with challenges in maintaining its traditional alliances in the Middle East. The shifting sands of international relations in the region could birth new alliances and rivalries, potentially complicating efforts to address various conflicts. The proposal by China and Saudi Arabia to impose sanctions on Israel in response to the Gaza conflict underscores the evolving dynamics in the Middle East and the broader geopolitical ambitions of these two nations. While the practical impact of such sanctions remains uncertain, they carry significant symbolic weight and could further isolate Israel on the international stage. The Israeli-Palestinian conflict, deeply rooted in defying easy solutions, may not find a panacea in sanctions. Thanks for staying tuned until the end. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell to stay updated on our videos.